Hey guys, so today I'm gonna make it's like a Java, kind of like a puzzle game inside of Java. So it's called Triple X. So the reason why it's called Triple X is because there's gonna be a 3-digit code that you need to figure out what it is. So Triple X, 3 X's, 3 unknown numbers. So I'm gonna start by just importing the scanner so we can do some input, basic input. And then because you're gonna basically every time you get one right, you get like onto the next level. So obviously we start at level 1. So I'm creative. Wow, cannot spell today. So we start at level 1 in games like all of the time. So then we're gonna need what the player's guessing. So I'm just gonna call it player guess, and I'm gonna make that a string and initialize it. So one more variable, I'm just going to create the actual scanner itself that we need, and I'm just going to make it I'll just call it S because that's pretty short. Alright, so now the first thing is to let them know what they're doing and where they are. So kind of like welcome, not welcome, you are staring at and then this is where I'll say a level, and then you put the actual level variable. So if they're at level 1, 10, 15, 20, whatever, it's always going to represent the actual level they're at, because we're going to add to that variable every time they get it correct. So you're staring at a level, I don't know, hacking screen at NASA. I don't know. Be creative. So at that point, we're going to now tell them to like type in the code or whatever, but we need the code first. We never made it. So I'm just gonna go create 3 numbers right now. So to make sure it's gonna be in integers, we're gonna use math.random, and then multiply times 9 because I don't want to get double digits, because then that'll cause it to be more than 3 numbers, you know. So it can only be 1 through 9. Perfect. And then just basically use that 3 times over. So int n2 equals int math dot random times 9 plus 1. The plus 1 is because if you don't do the plus 1, it's going to start at 0. And that's not good, because if it's just 0, then it's going to be easy to guess. Because anything times 0 is 0, because that's going to come into play when we do the hints that they get in order to actually figure it out, which is almost next. Alright, plus 1. Alright, I just need to go and do this and this. Alright, so these are the numbers n1, n2, and 3, just standing for number 1, number 2, number 3. That's all. Doesn't really matter. It's just my variable names. So in order for them to figure it out, they're gonna have to figure out what the 3 numbers add to and what the 3 numbers multiply to. Those are their 2 hints. So I'm just gonna create a variable called sum. So n1 plus n2 plus n3, and int product also works. So n1 times n2 times n3. Alright, so those are their hints. So now we have to actually like display the hints, otherwise it's not really going to be too helpful there. So system.out.println, alright, the 3-digit code because, you know, they have to make sure that they know it's only 3 digits long. Gotta make sure that the player knows all of the rules and all the situations, especially since it's basically like a console situation going on. So the 3-digit code adds 2, and we're gonna do basically what we did on line 9, because we're gonna have to attribute the variables in here. So sum, and, or you can be fancy with it, like, and it multiplies 2, and the same thing again, products, right? So if we run this, basically everything's going to be fine. So you're staring at a level 1 hacking internet at NASA, and the 3-digit code, well, I'll just do a little, so it creates a new line. It's a escape shortcut. So the 3-digit code adds to 12 and then multiplies to 42 because it was done at random, right? Then the code will be represented in these 3 numbers. So now we can ask them for what they need. So first off, I'm going to do it in a while loop to make sure that they're actually playing the game correctly. Because if they try and like break your game or whatever, we'll have this implemented so they can't. So this will only break out and continue onwards through the game to check if they're right, if they really did type in 3 numbers. So basically, I called it player guess. So player guess dot next line, because we want multiple things, like 3. So, oh, my bad. Okay, so player guess is set to the scanner's next line, which means they gotta type something in. They'll hit enter, and then we can go in. So just do like basically an if else situation. So if player, well, yeah, if player guess dot length does not equal 3, that's a problem. So then we can give them a little message that tells them that they didn't do right. Be like, the code is 3 digits long, dot 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 dot. So it's like, I already told you it was 3 digits, so you kind of are dumb. So else, meaning they did type in the correct thing, therefore we will just break out of it. Otherwise, you can write continue. So it'll just keep going until it breaks out. So now, let's say they typed in correctly, right? We can move on. So make sure you go out of the while loop, because this is where it ends here. See how it highlights. Always be careful of your brackets. So now we can actually like check it. So we're gonna go, well, no, wait, not while, my bad. So we're gonna say if else, because either they got it right or they got it wrong, basically. So this will be like their error message. So it'll be like failure. And you could be like, I don't know, like sending in the FBI or something, because they're hacking or whatever. You can be creative. So if is the correct part. So what I can do here is just create a string, because you got to be careful when you compare. You know, when you do an if state, you're comparing. So you got to make sure they're the same like data types, otherwise it won't work out. It's not like other languages that maybe let you avoid that. So I'm just gonna make it easy by creating a whole nother variable right here. I'm just gonna do like answer, right? And I'll just put them all together. So string dot value of is how you can actually convert an integer into a string. So string dot value of and 2 and plus one more time, not too bad, boom, our last guy. So then you can simply just write, hey, does player guess, because they're strings, you can't do 2 equal signs, simple Java thing. Then you write dot equals answer, right? So if they got it correct, you can give them like a little like good job situation. Oops. So success, and then clearly continue, because I'm going to add a game loop so that way you can keep doing levels. So here it would break when there is a loop that we're about to do. So then I'll just kind of put so they know game over. So back up here, what you want to loop and what you don't want to loop is what you have to be careful. So clearly you want to loop all of this but not the stuff above it, because you don't want to reset it to level 1 all the time. And there's no need to create multiple scanners and all that nonsense. So I'm again just going to make it simple, do a while true. So now, clearly not the game over part, and boom. There we have it. So a nice puzzle game. So just to prove everything's beautiful. So you're staring at a level 1 hacking screen, mass up 300 goats, adds 18, and multiplies 210. So let's say I just type 0. It's like, no, the code is 3 digits long, so it makes you do it again to prove it. Keeps making you do it. So now if I actually type 3, clearly 1, 2, 3 is not the answer, so failure, game over. I'm not going to sit here and like do the puzzle, but therefore, if you do it correctly, it would do. And if you want to make sure, you can just print answer and then type it. You know, pretty simple. But yeah, that's a basic puzzle game. Pretty cool, pretty fun, and hope you guys liked it. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, leave them at a comment below. I definitely read you guys' comments. So have fun.